Hey guys, it's Ashley Cunningham here, and I want to do a really quick video recommending 3 different decks of oracle cards or angel cards that you can use when you're starting out, either moving on your ascension spiritual journey and your clairs are opening and you want to connect with spirit, or you just really resonate with oracle cards or angel cards. Some people call them either or. I like to say oracle cards because there's a lot of different types of decks out there. And the reason why I felt really drawn to recommend just 3 decks to kind of start with or use as a foundation to turn to when you are really starting to build your collection or you're starting to work with cards is because there's so many decks out there and they're so amazing. There's tons of beautiful decks with tons of amazing artwork, and it can be a little overwhelming. So the first option that I always go to this deck when I'm pulling for other people, or I'm pulling for people who I know really are interested in seeing what they need to be doing or how they can help heal. This is the Angel Therapy, and sorry, my light is kind of showing up there. So Angel Therapy Oracle cards, this is by Doreen Virtue, and these are amazing. There's Archangel Raphael, who's on the cover here, and Archangel Michael is a really big influence on this deck. And I love this deck because it's very straight to the point. There's beautiful artwork, and it's really easy to see how cards work together if you're pulling multiple cards. And they're just really pretty and they're fun. So I really like this one. This is definitely the one that I've heard the angels recommend the most, especially for people starting out. So check this one out. I will have links down in the description box just to Amazon, but you can get this one at a lot of different booksellers. I'm sure there's a lot of different places online that sell this specific deck. This is a very popular one. Doreen Virtue made some really amazing oracle card decks. She's on a different path, and that's cool, but these decks are still really powerful and very helpful when learning how to channel, connecting with your guides, and connecting with spirit in general. So I love this one and I highly recommend it. The next one I really like to use, and this is also a Doreen Virtue deck, but it's also from Radley Valentine, is the Angel Answers deck. This deck is absolutely amazing. It's super beautiful. There's so many layers to the artwork, and I'm one that I really want to be visually kind of drawn into the card. And this deck I appreciate because it's a little bit more direct. There are yes, no answers, timeline answers, and it's just spot on. Every time I've used this, it's blown me away. I really love this deck. I see a lot of people using this to practice in the different mediumship courses that I've participated in, and it's just really easy to use, and it's just beautiful and amazing. So I highly recommend that one. And then this one, I think it's great for starting out channeling, starting out practicing with the cards, but also for people who have channeled or connected with spirit for a lot longer. Maybe you're not new to how to connect with spirit, but I still find a lot of value in this deck. And this is the Keepers of the Light Oracle card deck. And I love this deck because there are so many beings in here, different ascended masters, figures that are just super amazing and powerful. And I love using this deck to practice with students in various mediumship classes. We actually have myself and Kristen Davies are going to be practicing with students in June for a Mediumship for Beginners course. And I always break this deck out for beginners because it really helps It's a really fun exercise, and it helps to connect to different beings so you kind of get a sense of what different beings feel like when you call them in. I love this deck because it's super high vibrational. Again, the artwork is beautiful, and I love it too because there are beings in here that I had never heard of before, and I then was kind of prompted to learn about that new being, ascended master, religious figure, and then connect with that person or being in a way that was just really exciting, opened my channels up a little bit, and I learned more about, a different ascended master, a different energy, and what they were all about. So it kind of spurred on a little research for me. So I really enjoy that, and I have a lot of fun with this one with students. One exercise that I like to do is I like to pull a card out of the deck, and I am going to pull this card because this is the first one that I pulled. I like to pull a card out of the deck, and I like to ask students to call on this energy. So the card that I pulled is the Myriam, and they are twin angels who work together to help support individuals who are experiencing grief. And they are just really, really beautiful, and I love connecting with them. Every time I do, I cry pretty much. But I love pulling a card, working with the student to feel the energy of this being or the sets of beings. And oh, here's Master Jesus right here. So pulling cards, sensing the energy that's coming in, and then having a conversation with those beings. And it's really fun because you may not have questions for that specific being. Like if I just pulled this card, you may not know who the Myriam are or what they do or what they're about. So you may not have specific questions, but you can always ask, is there any guidance for me? Do you have any messages? Is there anything that I can do to help others? Those are 3 questions you can always ask, and they're always going to come forward and share a message or provide some guidance. So, and this is for all beings. So I really enjoy this deck. It's, like I said, beautiful artwork. It's really awesome. As you're practicing and developing your skill in connecting with spirit, you may or may not need a deck that has a booklet. All 3 of these decks have booklets that go with them that explain kind of what is the message of the card. But as you practice and as you connect with beings in a more practiced way, and as you are going with your intuition and using these decks as a bridge to developing your intuition and being able to communicate with spirit, you won't need the booklets as much. And I now have a quite large, I feel it's large. I don't think it's large compared to some other people, but for me, I feel like I have quite a large collection. And I never look at the booklets, maybe once or twice as I'm first connecting with a new deck. But as you get into it, as you get the feel of the cards and how spirit is going to communicate with you through the cards, you really don't need to worry about the booklet as much. So I hope this helped you in at least finding maybe one deck out of these 3 that you could start out with. If none of these were interesting to you, that's totally okay. There are so many oracle card decks or angel card decks or tarot cards out there that I'm sure you could find at least one deck that you resonate with, just one that like really calls to you and speaks to you. So I hope you have fun finding your deck, your oracle card deck or angel card deck. I love all of these, and I'm really excited that Kristen Davies is putting on the Mediumship for Beginners course starting in June, and I absolutely love providing support and working with students in her courses because A, they're so high vibrational, but B, I always learn something new, and I always learn how other people connect to spirit and how amazing it just is to be able to live a guided life and to connect with beings who are much wiser and more knowledgeable than myself. So, and that's for the students as well as the spiritual beings. So I just really appreciate your time, and I hope this helped you. Again, I have links down below in the description box to all 3 of these Oracle card decks. And again, I'm just going to send Amazon, or put in the box Amazon links, but you can probably buy all 3 of these at major booksellers or stores that kind of sell more spiritual materials like crystals, oracle card decks, spiritual books. So happy hunting, have a great day, and let me know if you have any questions or would like to see any more recommendations. Like I said, I have a big collection and I love talking about this stuff, so I'm totally open to doing more videos like this. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one. Bye.